Selection of caps, depending on what mood I'm in.
Hi there and welcome to TeamFBiL. 5 gentlemen, loosely termed, on their quest to completing long distance Ironman triathlons. In this episode you can keep up with all of our training. Craig has been reviewing a pair of carbon plate running shoes after 3 months of testing. And we have all been racing, see how we get on at the JLL3 Deira Islands Triathlon. So firstly, let's go to the training and one of my most hated parts of triathlon, the swimming. Over to Danny.
We are at Hamden Swimming Complex. We are swimming in there. It's such a superb facility, it can actually reduce the length of the pool to 25 metres with adjustable sides. So we're hoping for a 50-metre pool, but we'll see when we get inside. Oh my goodness, I've got it all. Got it all. Well, I've obviously got the water. Let's have a look. Towel, pretty obvious. Hand paddles. Fins, and they are absolutely bloody huge. A few kicks on that, I'll be down that 50-metre pool in about 12 seconds. Fins, yeah, all deep in here. Central snorkel, poor boy. Selection of caps, depending on what mood I'm in. Different types of goggles, tinted, slightly tinted and clear. Nose clip that goes with the central snorkel. And finally, probably the biggest piece and most important quid, my tempo trainer. It beeps. And you can set it for a variety of tasks, really. 1, you could set it for your stroke rate. 2, you can set it for your 100-metre time. So you can obviously keep to the beat of the tempo trainer, keeps your rhythm up in the swim. You know, funny thing is, triathlons, the first leg is swimming. So we have to, at some point, actually get in the bloody water and actually do some swimming. So today's swim session is a bit of a maintenance session. Not swam for a while, but just now finished 1100 metres, a little bit of a warm-up 100 metres, and then 5 sets of 2.
How was tonight?
Not a bad first session. For everyone back home in the UK, I mean, to be fair, this cost us 63 dirhams tonight. That's for an hour and a half in a 50-metre pool. That's around about 12 quid. You can't really get much better than that. I mean, for starters, there's a real lack of 50-metre pools back home. So, Hamden, fantastic facility for anybody living out in Dubai. Probably recommend it. I know we can't show everything, but for tonight, for example, there's 4 members of the Fat Boys in here and 2 other people. It's absolutely dead, quiet, great way to get a swim session in. Fully recommend it.
Thanks there, Danny and Craig from the wonderful Hamden Sports Complex. Next up, carbon plate trainers. They've made a big impact in a very short amount of time. Let's see what Craig thinks of them.
I'm here just very briefly to give you an insight, or not necessarily a review, but my thoughts and feelings regarding these things, which are the Adidas Adizero Pro trainers, carbon plate trainers from Adidas. First things first, this is just my honest opinion. Obviously I'm not a sponsored athlete by Adidas, and I'm not writing any reviews which are paid for by Adidas whatsoever. It's not an unboxing video. I've had these for a few months now, but I still do keep them in the box because predominantly so far I have used these as a racing shoe. I'm not going to bore you with the technicals in terms of the depth of the drop, what the upper's made of, etc., how much they weigh. I'm not going to place them on some scales. You can see lots of videos like this all over YouTube, etc. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. Now, first things first, they are quick. I bought these and the very next morning went out to test them. I went and did a 5K. Although it wasn't a personal best, it was what I would say was a season's best. It was the fastest 5K time I'd ran actually for a couple of years. They felt fast from the very first run. Super light, very peculiar to walk in, I'll be honest. That, you know, there is a lot of depth here, and you do get that feeling that you're walking on a trampoline almost as you walk around. It's a strange feeling. However, as soon as you start running, that completely goes away, and honestly, in my opinion, one of the most comfortable shoes to run in that I've ever experienced. There's 5 separate carbon plates in the bottom. That's how they differ, particularly from the Nikes, from the Alphafly and the Vaporflies. But to be honest with you, one of the biggest reasons why I bought these was the price point. For here in Dubai, these cost 800 dirhams. Mrs. Broom, please don't listen to this part. But in comparison for the Alphaflies, which from what I read, many regard as the #1, they are more than double that amount to purchase here. You could of course go for the Vaporflies, and who knows, maybe one day I will end up with a pair of those and give them a try also. I would like to, but being honest, there is that little bit of a stigma if you're wearing Vaporflies. Is it because you couldn't quite afford the Alphaflies? A little bit of driving a Porsche Boxster rather than a 911. That's just my opinion, and like I say, you'll probably see me in the future wearing a pair anyway. But I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to find a pair of these trainers available in Go Sports here in Dubai. They had 20 pairs available that day that had come in from Adidas, and these were actually the very last pair in the shop. Fortunately, in my size, I like the colour. You tend to see the pink colour and the white colour also available. One thing I would say, doesn't look to be much in terms of tread on the bottom, but I've not had any problems regarding running around in the streets and even on a little bit of sand. You know, the grip's been fairly good. My only negative really that I've experienced from a triathlon point of view, quite often during a run, you get to what I call a dead stop, or a very sharp U-turn, maybe around a cone usually. There is a slight feeling from me on a sharp turn that your foot's just gonna slightly roll slightly. But I mean, overall that has been a little niggle. If I was at home in the UK, I would maybe be a bit concerned as to how long they would last. You know, the upper itself it's very breathable, it's very light, but if you were running in the rain and worse weather, for example, I'm really not sure how long they would last. In particular, that sole, that may wear away quite quickly. Fortunately, out here in Dubai, you know, weather is on our side, and as you've already seen, I keep these in the box and I'm using them rarely. I have run a half marathon in them. I think I've run 2 actually, so 2 half marathons, a couple of 10Ks and a few 5s, and no blisters, no problem with the fit whatsoever. I'm not solely an Adidas runner, I do wear other trainers as well, but overall I am super impressed at the price bracket that they are. You know, in the UK I think it's around about £160, which for a top-end pro level trainer, carbon plated, I think that is fantastic. So overall, would I recommend them? Yes, I would. They're not a necessity, they are quite a luxury, but you know, if running something you want to improve on, from my point of view, I was super quick the very first run I went out in these, and I will continue with them for some time to come and hopefully bring down my running times.
Thanks, Craig. Well, let's move on to some racing. New to the Race ME calendar this year is the Deira Islands Triathlon. It's held at a fantastic venue, man-made islands directly near the international airport. TeamFBiL entered 3 distance triathlons, the Super Sprint, the Sprint and the Olympic. Of course, to complete long distance triathlons, you have to do lots of training. Unfortunately, that goes hand in hand with injuries. Let's catch up with the George to see what's happened. Tell us what's happened.
So about 5 years ago I dropped a weight on my toe and had to have reconstruction on my toe. I basically had to have it reconstructed and they had to scoop out a massive thing. So it's a bit grim. It's going to take a couple of weeks.
First up, we have Wolfie, who was the only one of Team FBIL who was participating in the Olympic distance.
Morning, Mr. Wolf. How are you doing? Just completed Olympic at the JLL3 last race of the season. How did it go?
Good. I say it was tough though, not having the boys there this morning.
COVID restrictions means no spectators. So how was the swim?
Swim, not bad, flat, nice, no wetsuit, which was tough, I have to say, but it was good, come out nice. Transition, pretty smooth, bit slow, but one of them. Bike was better this time, I had my water, which was good. Nice and fast, bit windy in places. Coming in, the run was good. Got my head down, got round it, got it done.
So 1.5k swim, 40k bike,
Yep.
and then a 10k run. What was the 10k time?
That come in at just under 45.
After the Ironman 70.3, Craig was eager to prove a point. Let's see what distance he participated in.
Sprint today. But I'm just going to go down and just do it and just smash Danny Walker. You've got that on tape, okay?
So Craig has laid down the gauntlet. He knows he's not going to beat Danny in the swims. 19 minutes out of the sea and onto the bike. We all know Craig is very quick on the bike, a 32-minute 20k. He overtook Danny, and let's see how he got on in the run. Yes, he did very well, 28-minute 5k. Danny and Craig, their rivalry has been going for a long time, ever since Kuwait. Danny had a fantastic swim, 16 minutes for the 850 metre. Good transition, and then fast out onto the bike, but Craig did catch him on the bike. A good plod for Danny on the run, coming home with a good time.
So Walker, well done, finished your sprint. Talk us through, what was the distance, how'd you find swim, bike, run?
End of the season, so just trying to get through the race. Swim went well, non wetsuit, which is always quite tricky, but got through in about 16 minutes. Found the bike quite easy to hold a pace all the way round, and then the run's the run, you know what that's like for me.
After suffering an injury back in January, it was time to get back into triathlons. Let's see how Andy got on.
Just finished your super sprint, talk us through it, what was the distance?
Super sprint, well, first one since January, so 3 months off basically. So I thought I'd come back into a short one. So 350 metre swim, that was nice. The water was really warm, so no wetsuit. The usual price, did the breaststroke all the way round. Came out, good transition onto the bike, no mucking about, straight out there. Averaging probably 36, I'd imagine, touching 40 all the way around. Lovely flat course. Into the run. Good transition, and then a 2.5k run, went all out, I think 440 splits. Thought I'd push it even with the suspected injury. Did really well. See how the result was. Nice hot sunny day. It's now 10:15, probably up to 35 degrees.
Well, that's it for this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like. In the next episode, we're going to be going cycling up into the UAE mountains. We're going to review the latest swim technology and also give a report on the Ras Al Khaimah Triathlon. And of course, we give you an update on our Ironman plans. And if you want to keep up to date with all the goings on in Team FBIL, then please press the subscribe button and you'll get notified whenever we do a new upload. See you next time.